All right, let's just jump right in. Do you ever get that feeling? You know the one. You're not actually doing anything, but your mind feels busy, exhausted even. It's like having 100 browser tabs open in your head and they're all playing audio at the same time. Well, today we're going to talk about why that happens and, more importantly, the very first, very simple step you can take to finally get some quiet. And this quote just hits it right on the head, doesn't it? We've all been there. It's that bone-deep weariness that a good night's sleep just can't seem to touch. Because the problem isn't that your body is tired, it's that your mind has never had a chance to rest. And the signs, well, they can be really subtle. It's not always some big dramatic meltdown. Sometimes it's just this constant low-level hum of pressure in the background. It's reading the same sentence over and over again because your brain is just somewhere else entirely. Or maybe it's that feeling of bouncing from email to laundry to a work task, but never actually finishing anything. You just feel scattered. So here's what I really want you to hear. If any of that sounds familiar, this is not a character flaw. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined. The problem has a name and it's simply mental clutter. And you know what? Just being able to name it is the first real step toward fixing it. So what is this stuff really? Well, think of mental clutter as all the open loops rattling around in your head. It's every unfinished task, every decision you've been putting off, every conversation you need to have. All of it just circling around in there, fighting for your attention. And this is exactly where it all comes from. I mean, just look at this list. It's the weight we're all carrying around. It's not just the to-do list. It's the conversations we dread, the emotions we push down, and man, that last one is huge. All the information we're constantly taking in from our phones and screens that we never actually process. It all just adds up to this constant background noise of worry and tension. Which brings us to this idea right here. Your brain, it's an amazing idea factory. It's a world-class problem solver. But you know what it's absolutely terrible at? Being a storage unit. When we try to make it hold on to every reminder, every worry, and every little task, it just gets completely overwhelmed. And suddenly, even the simplest things start to feel impossible. So let me ask you this. When you feel that sense of overwhelm, when your mind is just a mess, what's your go-to move? What's your instinct? If you're like most of us, the answer is probably something like, I just need to try harder. But here's the catch. Trying to force yourself to focus when your mind is already overloaded, well, it's like trying to have a quiet conversation by shouting over the noise in a loud room. It doesn't bring clarity. It just adds more pressure, more noise, and another layer of feeling bad about yourself. Okay, so if pushing harder is the wrong move, what's the right one? The answer is almost ridiculously simple. It's not about finding a new productivity hack or a complicated system. The real first step is just to get all that junk out of your head. We call this a brain dump, and honestly, it's probably the most powerful thing you can do when you feel overwhelmed. It's so easy. You grab a piece of paper, a notebook, a blank document on your computer, whatever, and you just start writing. Every single thing that's taking up space in your head. Every worry, every task, every dumb little idea. And this is the most important part. Do not try to organize it. Don't judge it. The only goal here is to get it out. Just unload. And it's so important to get this distinction right. This exercise isn't about deep, soul-searching journaling. You're not looking for some profound insight, at least not right now. The single purpose of a brain dump is relief. It's about giving your brain permission to finally stop juggling all that stuff. Okay, so you did it. You've got this big, messy list in front of you. Now what? You could just stare at it and feel even more overwhelmed, right? So instead of trying to tackle it all at once, we need a super simple way to sort through it. You're going to triage your list into 3 simple categories. First, what's actually urgent? And I mean truly urgent, with a real deadline. Be honest with yourself. Second, and this is so key, what feels heavy? This might not be urgent at all, but it's the thing that's taking up the most emotional space in your head. And finally, this is where the magic happens. What is just noise? This is all the stuff that can wait, the things you think you should do, or maybe the things you can just cross off the list entirely. As you sort your list, you're going to notice 2 very different kinds of clutter. There's the logistical tension, that's your to-do list stuff, replying to an email, booking a flight. Annoying, but straightforward. But then there's the emotional burden. This is the heavy stuff, worrying about finances, feeling like you have to pretend everything's okay. It's so important to see the difference because you can't check off an emotional burden like a task. It needs a different kind of attention. So once you've gotten everything out and sorted it, the goal is to protect that little bit of mental space you've just created. This is all about small, simple habits that stop the clutter from rushing right back in.
Here are 3 amazing ways to do that. First, go find a tiny, easy open loop and just close it. Send that one-sentence email. Make that quick phone call. Your brain gets a little hit of relief from completion. Second, reduce your input. A cluttered mind doesn't need more information, it means less. So a little less scrolling, a few fewer notifications, give your brain some silence. And third, just for 5 minutes, do one single thing with your full attention. It could be drinking your coffee or listening to a song. It's like hitting a reset button.
Sometimes, even after you've brain dumped all the tasks and to-dos, your mind still feels loud. That's when you have to ask this question. Because often, what's left behind is emotional clutter. The stress, the frustration, the sadness that you haven't actually stopped to acknowledge. Sometimes, you just have to name it to tame it. And really, that's the whole point. A cluttered mind doesn't need you to demand better performance from it. It just needs your permission. Permission to be overwhelmed. Permission to not have all the answers. Permission to just pause. And that's not giving up. It's the first step toward getting things back in order. When you put all of this together, it leads to this really fundamental shift in how we think about feeling overwhelmed. The goal isn't really to become more productive. The goal is to create more space. So instead of waking up and asking yourself, how can I be more productive today, which just adds more pressure, try asking this instead. What is taking up unnecessary space in my mind right now? See the difference? The first question is about fixing yourself. The second one is just about clearing out the junk. And we'll leave you with this thought. Clarity isn't something you can force. It's what happens naturally when you finally make some room for it. So if your mind feels like a noisy, crowded room today, don't start by trying to shout over it. Start by gently asking things to leave. That's where the quiet begins.